Hey, did you know that one of the awesome perks about being part of my rockin' Refashionista crew is helping me to decide what my next videos should be? And this week it was literally a dead heat between upsizing and no-sew, and we just did an upsizing compilation, so we're gonna do no-sew today. And because apparently my Gen X fashion style is once again coming back around to the youngsters, I thought it would be awesome fun to look back at some of my favorite no-sew tutorials that I still have and I still wear, and then you can make them. Plus, I'm going to show you how well they've held up through wearing and washing and just real life. I'm a Refashionista Sheri, and I show you how to use what you have to make what you want. So let's get making. All you need is your plain shirt or whatever garment you want to use, a piece of cardboard, some permanent markers, and a piece of chalk. I want my design to be pretty central here on the front, so I've put my piece of cardboard in between the front and the back so my permanent marker does not go through to the back of my shirt. Okay, so if you want to get out your rulers or your tailor's measure and measure exactly the space you want your design to be in, you absolutely can. I, of course, am simply going to eyeball it, and I've grabbed my chalk, and now I'm just going to very gently and carefully sketch out my design. Okay, so there is my design. Just, you know, a little bit of refashion. That is all. You want to grab your permanent marker, and I cannot stress this enough. This has to be a permanent marker. I just get mine at the dollar store. You don't need anything expensive, and they work absolutely fine. And now I'm just going to really slowly start going over my chalk lines. Now, because this is fabric, we're going to go very slowly, and it's not that big of a deal if you accidentally kind of go out of your original line or anything like that, because you will be going over this more than a few times to make sure your lines will be nice and crisp at the end. So you can see now that I have gone over my letters once again, and I made them nice and thick, and I'm going to do it again. But you see, you just got to keep going over it and over it until you are happy with the lines and how it looks. But I think I might try a different color this time. So as you can see, I did add some lovely pink accents and a little bit of red in the heart. And I also went over all of the black one more time. So now we can finally move on to the last step. Now, instead of the cardboard, I have an old tea towel in between the front and the back. And as I said, this is the final step. So we're going to really set this permanent marker here. It will stay without doing this step, so it is optional. I just always like to do it because I find it really does help to keep the design and everything looking fresh after washing it. Okay, so I got another old tea towel on top. And now I'm just going to give it a very good press with a quite hot iron because my shirt is cotton, so it can take it. So this is now finished. If there are any bits of chalk remaining, like right here, I see a tiny little bit, it will come out in the wash. For this one, you need a dark colored t-shirt, a piece of chalk, a light colored marker or two that are nearly dried out, a plastic covered piece of cardboard, and of course some bleach. So the first thing you need to do is pop your t-shirt on and mark out the area where you'd like the design to be with your chalk. Then put your plastic covered cardboard in between the front and the back of the t-shirt to prevent any bleach leakage. Okay, here comes the fun part. Now, of course, you get to sketch out your design. Once you're happy with it, then you take your nearly dried out marker and dip it into the bleach, and then ever so carefully trace over your chalk design. Then all you got to do is wait and watch the color change. Now, of course, the more bleach you use, the lighter it will be, and the longer you leave it on, the lighter it will be as well. I left this one on for a couple of hours. this is just too beige for me, so I think I want to do it a lovely dark color. I'm not sure what though, but I don't have any dark dye just hanging around my house right now, so let's pop on over to the dollar store and grab some. So once again, to create my dye bath, I am putting super hot water in my sink, and I'm using 2 dye packets because this cord jacket is kind of heavy fabric. I also always add about 1.5 cups of salt to my dye bath because I find it really helps to set the color and keep it fresh for longer. Now we're gonna pop the jacket in and really make sure it is saturated. All I have to do is give it a good rinse and of course launder it as usual, and then we can go try it on and style it up. Refashionista Sheri popping in to remind you that I share sustainable style posts and shorts every single day on my channel, as well as a rockin' Refashionista long form tutorial video every Friday. So be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course, leave me comments letting me know what you think of my refashions and refashions that you would love to see me do in the future. Pop into your own closet, find something you don't wear anymore, and let me know what you want to see, and I will come up with a rockin' Refashionista video just for you. Now let's get back to making. All you need is your dowdy denim, an X-Acto knife, a piece of chalk, a block of wood that fits into your dowdy denim, and a barbecue cleaning brush. This is my favorite denim destructing tool, and it can be found at pretty much any dollar store. So your first step is to pop the jeans on and mark the areas that would naturally become worn out over time. For example, the knees. Next, take your block of wood and pop it in between the layers of denim, right behind your marks. Then grab your X-Acto knife and very carefully cut through your marks. Once you're happy with your slashes, grab that barbecue cleaning tool and using the metal brush, simply go over and really kind of try to age and fray up those cuts. Now you can see this lovely little brush definitely frays up the denim nicely. You can also use the scraper tool to scrape away at the denim, and that will really give it a nice aged and worn in look as well. I also like to go and wear out around the edges of the pockets, and also a little bit here in the thigh area where the jeans would naturally bend when you're sitting down. To give your denim a more aged and worn out look, simply pop it in a bath of hot water and bleach. And within an hour or 2 or more, depending on how light you would like it to be, there will be a definite color change happening. Now, obviously, once you are happy with the color, you will go ahead and launder as usual. And the laundry process will also fray and destroy these edges a little bit more. All you need is a slightly oversized sweatshirt and your scissors. Because this is going to be an off-shoulder sweatshirt, I popped it on and decided which shoulder I wanted to show off, and then I popped a pin in the area where I wanted it to hang down my arm or off my shoulder to. And now all I have to do is start at one side of the neckline as close to the actual finished neckline as possible, but you also want to be chopping off the finished seam here, because we want this to be very deconstructed, distressed, and, you know, look like it was chopped off. Then you just want to start there and do a gentle curving chop all the way around until you get to your pin mark. I highly recommend going and trying it on now just to see if you want to cut any more. Mine is absolutely perfect, so let's move on to the final step. You can see now I have my sweatshirt inside out, and that is because I'm now just going to cut off the sleeve cuffs and the bottom hem, and it's inside out, so I can cut them off as close to this finished seam here as possible. Cotton jersey fabric does not fray, so you can cut it and you don't have to hem it at all. So you know what? Your fantabulous Flashdance inspired sweatshirt only needs to have the sleeve cuffs rolled up a little. This is quite a large shirt on me, and we're going to turn it into a two-piece summer set without any sewing at all. It's so simple. So the very first thing I have to do is figure out how short, long I want the top to be. And let's see, if we go about here, and I'm just going to pop a pin right in there, like so. And now let's go back to the table and finish this off. So I have the shirt laid out as flat as I could get it, and I just noticed my pin here is kind of cutting off Eddie's forehead. So I think instead of doing that, I'm going to go right above his head. And now I'm just going to chop on through. Okay, so the top part of my set is pretty much done. I might go ahead and chop off the finished sleeve cuffs here just for a more deconstructed look, but for now it's done. Now let's work on the skirt. And because this is a Stranger Things shirt, I'm not too concerned that this part of the graphic is going to be upside down because, you know, the upside down and all of that. So I think it's actually kind of cool. All right, so here we have the bottom hem of the shirt, which I now have to the top. And this definitely works best with shirts that do not have a side seam because we are simply going to make two little cuts just in the very front of this bottom hem here. So you need to be separating the fabric from the front and the back and putting two little cuts. So I am going to do that right now. So I have my two holes here, and they are pretty much in the center, and of course they are just through that front layer of fabric. Now, because my design is right here along the bottom, I can't really cut off a strip and make some t-shirt yarn to go through here for my drawstring waistband. But luckily I have some t-shirt yarn in my stash, so I've already popped a pin in the end of this one. And if you don't know how to make t-shirt yarn, just as I said, you just cut off a strip, and then once you have your strip cut, you stretch it, and look, it folds in onto itself like so, and it does not fray, and it's just fantastic. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to thread it through the bottom hem here until I come out the other hole. And this is why it's best to use a shirt that does not have side seams, because I can just zip this all the way around without having to worry about unpicking the side seams. So yeah, I'm going to finish that, and then you know what? The skirt is going to be done too. So on the advice of my kiddo, and so I look cool, I'm going to chop off the neckline here so I can also wear this off one shoulder if I want to. So the first thing I've done is just cut a little hole right beside the neckline here, and I'm just going to cut out this finished neckline. So because this shirt was already quite big on me, that's all I have to do to make this wide enough to hang off one of my shoulders. I don't have to cut anymore. If your shirt fits you, then you will have to go ahead and decide which shoulder you want the shirt to be off of, and then just gently chop out a little bit more from that side. Now it's your turn to let me know which of these no-sew refashions is your absolute favorite, which one you're gonna make, and if you've been with me for a while, which one maybe you have already made. That would totally make my day if I got to know my tutorials that you've actually used or tweaked or just, you know, recreated your rockin' wardrobe with. And of course, as always, if you want to go deeper, I highly recommend joining my wardrobe revolution at refashionistasherry.com, as well as popping with me behind the scenes and becoming a member of my Refashionista crew. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag. And you, seriously, stay safe in this heat. If you are experiencing the insane heat waves that are happening all over the world, please do stay hydrated, take cold showers, baths, whatever you need to do to keep yourself safe. I share YouTube shorts and posts every single day, plus a fancy Refashionista long form video every fart